Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be once again taking a look at that potentially major snowstorm. This is going to be a very rare event that we're going to be taking a look at coming up in the coming days. Now for today's comment of the day, I want to know, what do you think is the maximum amount of snowfall we could see with this upcoming snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. We had an awesome time talking over in the Discord server yesterday. I was in the voice chat talking with so many of you, and that was amazing. So be sure to join the Discord server. That is going to be in the description and in the pinned comments down below. The only thing you're going to regret if you join is that you did not do it sooner, because it is an amazing experience being able to talk about weather with other people who love weather. I love being there, and I'm sure you will as well. So go ahead and join that description and the pinned comment down there. Let's get straight into this video though, and first things first, we're going to be taking a look at these temperature anomalies, because this is very interesting. Wednesday afternoon, we're taking a look at temperatures that are about 10 to 20 degrees above normal here. Clearly not cold enough for snow in mid-April, but look at this. 2 days later, Friday afternoon, that's going to be April 16th, 3 days from now, and as you can see, we're going to be looking at 10 to 20 degrees below normal temperatures. We're going to have a huge temperature swing in a 3-day period there. Absolutely extreme temperature change, to say the least. Here's the high temperatures on Friday, and as you can see, mid-30s. That's going to be cold enough for snow to come down, especially in higher elevation regions. But especially by the time we reach those low temperatures at about 4 or 5 a.m. here, you can see lower 30s to mid-30s for many regions, especially the high elevation areas. We'll be able to get snowfall here Friday night, but even some of the valleys as well in the mid-30s, that could be cold enough for you to see snowfall, depending obviously on some other things. But overall, that is what the models are showing for the most part. Speaking of the models, let's just get straight into the European model here. And as you can see, by the time we're taking a look at about Friday morning, this is going to be maybe about 11 a.m. here, you can see that we do have a low pressure center offshore of New Jersey. No snow yet. You can see the cold air moving in. There is some snow there, actually. I lied, for northwestern Pennsylvania and northeastern Ohio there. That's going to be a wintry mix, though, and likely very light as it appears. But by the time we're reaching about 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. that night on Thursday, you can see that snow begins, especially for New York here, but also Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, even New Hampshire here, and a little bit of Pennsylvania. This storm by this point will be a 999 millibar low pressure center, so definitely taking a look at a pretty interesting situation. And over the course of the past 24 hours since I made yesterday's video, this storm looks a little bit more intense to me. Very interesting setup we have moving forward, and that's going to be right around Long Island. Like I said, I might have said that, I don't know, but it is going to be right around Long Island for sure, bringing moderate to heavy snowfall, likely accumulating especially in those higher elevation areas pretty quickly here on Thursday evening in through Friday, and that is going to last quite a while. So what we're going to do here in a moment is we're going to move on, and we're going to move towards very early on Friday morning, just see how this storm progresses as more states and more regions begin to see snowfall. Very interesting. All right, now here we are taking a look at approximately 5 a.m. here on Friday, April 16th. And as you can see, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and then New York as well. Very widespread, moderate to heavy snowfall. Connecticut, very interesting. You see, the thing is, for the Green Mountains and New Hampshire, especially in the White Mountains, this isn't necessarily super rare. You know what I mean? Like, in those higher, super high elevation regions, further north, it's not super rare. Where it is super rare is the valleys, and especially down there for Connecticut, portions of Massachusetts, and some areas there in New York that are showing snowfall here are also quite rare for this time of year. So there's some areas where this isn't necessarily rare, but there's certainly some areas where this is a very rare April event. So I hope that makes sense. We have a 997 millibar low pressure center here by this point, located in between Long Island and Connecticut there, bringing snowfall just to the north, likely very heavy actually, from the Green Mountains down through the Berkshires, even in through western Connecticut there as well. Very interesting setup we have here. By the time we reach about 3 p.m. or so on Friday here, you can see that rain-snow line becomes very receded, I guess you could say. It's really just, it's backing down, and obviously the high temperatures of Friday are moving in, and this time of year, it's just, in the middle of the day, it's just going to be really hard to have a full-blown snowstorm. By the time we're moving towards about 6 a.m. on Saturday, you can see this storm will mostly transition offshore of Cape Cod, and then we'll see some snowfall continue there for Maine, New Hampshire, portions of Massachusetts and Vermont potentially as well, and that will fully move out after that point, and that'll be the end of that snowfall. Let's take a look at what that GFS model has to say. Will it be different like it was yesterday, or will we see a much more similar look, which would obviously increase our confidence a lot? Let's just move forward with this. First things first, this is approximately maybe 11 a.m. here on Thursday, April 15th. As you can see, it looks very similar actually to how it looked on the European model. And by the time we see this one move up, this is going to be approximately 2 a.m. here on Friday. Hits a little bit later. That's one of the bigger differences here. And also, therefore, since the cold air has moved further and further east since it's hitting later, we see that low pressure center located further east as well. But that snowfall is actually in a very similar spot. We see mostly New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire look familiar because it is almost identical. And now I'm mostly eyeballing, it's a little bit far out to say, but the bullseye, in my opinion, looks to be from the Green Mountains down through the Berkshires, even in through western Connecticut, especially northwestern Connecticut there. That seems to be the bullseye on both of these models here. We have a 997 millibar low pressure center. Obviously, the European model had this one a lot further west because we saw it in between Long Island and Connecticut. This one is hundreds, or at least 100 miles further east than what the European model was showing. So there is some differences, but this eventually does actually come back west a little bit. And we see this one located kind of over Rhode Island, bringing heavy snowfall even down to the coast of Connecticut. Very extreme situation, but still the Berkshire seeing a ton of heavy snowfall. So it's a little bit different, but still kind of the same as well here. A 993 millibar low pressure center there over Rhode Island. Very extreme situation. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, even Long Island seeing some moderate to heavy snowfall here on this frame by about 2 p.m. there on Friday. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on with this in just a moment, and we're going to watch the end of this storm on the GFS, and we're going to transition over to our Canadian model as well in just a moment. All right, now here is the end of the GFS run. First things first, let's take a look at about 2 a.m. We see a 997 millibar low pressure center there offshore of Cape Cod. Again, closing out of some snowfall for Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Massachusetts. The location is a little different, but the snowfall looks pretty similar. And by the time we reach about 2 p.m. on Saturday, you can see that coming to an end very, very quickly. Maybe some mixed showers there for Maine, but really we see this one move out and a little bit of warmer air moves in behind it, or at least more mild air. I don't think it'll be above normal temperatures, but still going to be a little less cold, if that makes sense. Let's just transition and take a look at that Canadian model real quick, because yesterday, when I made yesterday morning's video, we saw that the Canadian model was not on board at all. Let's take a look at what it has to say today. This is by about 3 p.m. here on Thursday. We have a 999 millibar low pressure center south of Long Island. You can see the setup looks very similar to our other two models. So far, that agreement seems to be much, much more on point than it was yesterday, which is a very good sign that we have good agreement and we can have higher confidence in this than we did yesterday. We see snowfall starting out for portions of New York, but especially there in the Green Mountains of Vermont and a little bit of the Berkshires potentially as well. By the time we reach about 2 a.m. there on Friday, April 16th, you can see moderate to heavy snowfall developing there for Vermont, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire especially, but also portions of New York, mountainous regions of New York, the Adirondacks and the Catskills there potentially. But another thing I wanted to mention, look, the Green Mountains and the Berkshires. Like the other two models, that seems to be the bullseye here again. So I am kind of increasing my confidence that that is kind of the place we're going to be watching for the highest amounts to be possible of the Green Mountains south of that Vermont border into the Berkshires of Massachusetts, even south of the Massachusetts border potentially into Connecticut, where there is some hilly regions there south of the Berkshires in Massachusetts. Very interesting setup we have here. That's a classic area to get a bullseye from a storm in this location, so that would not surprise me at all. We have a 998 millibar low pressure center kind of off the tip of Long Island, south of Rhode Island there. So very interesting setup. We see this one eventually kind of weaken by the time we're taking a look at about 2 p.m. on Friday. And it's a very broad area of low pressure, and we get kind of a messier storm that way. You can see kind of some mixed snow, some mixed rain. This would create a sloppier storm. The stronger this low pressure center is, the more organized that rain-snow line is going to be. But at this point on the Canadian model, you can see it's kind of all over the place. The two areas that are definitely seeing snowfall is the Green Mountains down through the Berkshires, and then also there from New Hampshire through into Maine, where we will have enough cold air moved in. By the time we reach about 2 a.m. on Saturday, you can see that is still there. The snowfall for Maine and New Hampshire, even a little bit of Vermont. And then this is officially moved out by about 3 p.m. there on Saturday. Now for the total snowfall maps, let's take a look at that European model real quick. Again, in the grays, you're taking a look at about a dusting, if anything. The blues, 2 to 6 inches of snow. Purples, 6 to 10. Pinks, 10 to 20. And then we get kind of those teal colors there for the Green Mountains there of Vermont, and a little bit of the Adirondacks potentially. That's where we're at about 20 inches plus. So this European model is saying, hey, this could be a massive snowstorm. But the 20 inches plus, we're going to take that with a massive grain of salt. But 10 inches plus isn't far-fetched for some mountainous regions here with this low pressure center if the European model is correct. And you can see this is definitely an elevation-based event. We see the Adirondacks, the Catskills, the Berkshires and Green Mountains there. And then even those hilly regions, you take that from western New Hampshire down through Massachusetts. That is a little bit of a higher elevation region. In between that and the Green Mountains is a valley, and you can see there's no purples or pinks there in between those two areas in Vermont and New Hampshire. That's that valley, and that's where we have less snowfall going on. Also, take that up through the White Mountains. You can see there is some pinks and purples up there as well. So definitely elevation-based here on the European model. Very interesting to see that. GFS model is very similar. Green Mountains and Berkshires, bullseye there on the GFS. And then the Canadian model, same story. Green Mountains and kind of the Berkshires, but mostly just the Green Mountains here on the Canadian model. As of this morning, that seems to be the bullseye on all three of these models. So anyway, for my confidence tab, we've upgraded from a 3 to a 4 because of this agreement we've seen from the models. We're still about 3 days out, so we're going to be taking this with a grain of salt. We're going to be watching this very closely, and we're going to be updating you guys on this. So be sure to subscribe for these updates. Be sure to like the video to help the algorithm. Also comment. I don't know why I'm saying all that right now. I usually wait till after all of this stuff, but I just wanted to get that out there. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you think this snowstorm is going to be major? And James Marr said, I think this will be a very major snowstorm for April, 4+ inches widespread with pockets of 6 inches plus. Definitely that seems to be conservative at this point based on the model guidance we're seeing this morning. We're going to watch and see if they maybe downtrend this a little bit more towards what James Marr is saying. But as of yesterday, that was a very good comment of the day. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons. Property Damage, John Benbenick, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry the Pan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Adam Mattis, alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Alan Cherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Michael Buell, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Mark J, Luke Flego, Gary's, and John Quilicia. If you would like to be a part of this patron end screen of the day, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. Also, for our channel members highlight of the day, I would like to thank our Weather Top Dog Hair Farms 1 and then also our superfan Phoenix Nimics. You can join this one by clicking that button next to the subscribe button today and checking that out. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. Be sure to destroy the like button, comment to help the YouTube algorithm, subscribe for more weather-related content, and I will see you guys in the next video.